Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your reading for May 2019. My name is Melanie. This is a general reading for Aquarian Sun, Moon and Rising sign people. So it may or may not, whoops, that's my phone, may or may not resonate. So I just encourage you to take what you like and leave the rest. So I use 5 cards for reading. For a monthly reading, the first card there representing the past energy, which may be a factor this month. The 8 of Cups card came through. In the second position there representing the energies of this month, the current situation, current issues. You have the Queen of Swords. The third card being about possible obstacles that may show up this month for Aquarians. The 5 of Wands card came out in the position of what may be helpful and useful. The 10 of Coins, otherwise known as the 10 of Pentacles, and the outcome card for this month is the 3 of Swords. The card lying down there from a separate deck, which I use more like oracle cards, is called Bushfire, and that's about rebirth, and I'll be reading about that card towards the end of this reading. So let's have a little look and see what we can make sense of in these cards. Bit of an interesting month. Interesting, I mean a little challenging at times. It looks like certainly where you've come from with the 8 of Cups in the past position, something has happened that you've had to walk away from. There's been a bit of a disappointment. Something has not worked out as you planned. You needed to withdraw or escape from something. Something was missing. You had to make a choice or a decision to move away from something and towards something else. You know, because when we do leave something, when we're walking away from something, that means we're walking towards something, hopefully towards greener pastures. So it seems like things have been a little rough at some point in the past, whether that's recent past or a bit further than the recent past. That is related somehow to what's happening this month. You may have felt like more was needed in your life, or in a relationship, or in a job. Something was not quite what you thought it was, and ultimately you've had to make a decision to change that, to abandon your plans, to go, well, that wasn't quite as successful as I hoped or wanted it to be, and you're moving on. You've had to let go of something, move on. There's been a bit of a loss in that regard, but it's not forever, you know. It's been a bit of a temporary setback. We can see that in the present, the second card along there, the Queen of Swords, representing the current issues this month, or the main sort of theme, I guess, not theme, energy. You have the Queen of Swords. I just want to note too that you have, what do we got here? 2 Swords cards. You have a card from every suit of the minor arcana here, and then 2 of them being Swords cards. Swords representing matters of the mind, air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, things to do with thinking, beliefs, ideas, words, communication, conversations, worries, you know, those kinds of things. Queen of Swords, so she embodies sort of the feminine energy of the suit of Swords, to do with the intellect, with the mind. This Queen has been through a lot. This may actually be a person coming into your life this month. It could be you. It might not be, of course. It could just be about the energy of this. She is a tough, strong woman. She's very confident. She has strength coming from within. She's very bright, very intellectual, independent. Sometimes has a bit of a cool exterior, but inside she's actually quite delicate. She's gone through some shit, really. She's gone through some hardship. There's sometimes a sense with this card of mourning, of loss, of grief, kind of barrenness, but also of transformation, of change, of kind of coming out the other side, bettering herself in some way, being very organised, helping other people to organise themselves. In that way, it could be a counsellor or somebody that you turn to this month, or that you see, or that you consider seeing, who can offer you some clear insights, and who is very good intellectually, with a good sharp wit about them, that can provide assistance for you. This can be about sort of seeing above the clouds, being in that sort of elevated position, being able to look at the world around you. It's a reminder to be cool, be clear, to don't lose your head. Swords being about the head, to keep your head on your shoulders, see illusions for what they are. And there's a hint of illusion or disillusionment with that Eight of Cups card, and you've had to walk away from that. Perhaps you have felt disillusioned about something. The Queen of Swords card sees that for what it is. She's at a better place with things. She is organised more by her ideas, by her head, rather than her heart. She's a very good communicator, and like I said, is quite an organised person. So it seems like this month that's going to be your theme, of being quite intellectual, or seeking some assistance from someone who's quite intellectual, being quite cool and calm in some way, having gone through a difficult, tough time that's left you feeling a little bit down, but moving into a position now of sort of power. Queen, she's right up there with the king. She's very confident, good quick thinker. She's got a lot of strength that she's earned, that she's got within herself. She's very much about inner strength as well, independence and intellect. So good, strong sort of feeling there, but having gone through some tough times. The third card about what may be a bit of an obstacle this month, we have the Five of Wands card there. Speaking of tough times, this is another card of an unsettling card. The fives are a funky kind of number in tarot, of instability, of change, of rebellion, issues of power and control. And we see in the Five of Wands, wands are about passions, creativity, energy, force, life force, action. Five of Wands is about conflict and disagreements, tension, sort of too many cooks in the kitchen, too many choices, sort of fighting and disagreements going on, but nothing's really being resolved. Nobody's seeing things from other people's points of view. There's a bit of chaos going on, but there's no cohesion. Maybe this is going on around you in a group setting, or maybe this is within yourself. You're just bouncing around ideas and thoughts and feelings. There's a lot of internal tension and sort of fighting within you still, or around you, but it's hard to make sense of that. Who's the leader here? What are we doing? What's the goal? And one voice or one person going, we need to do this. Another one's going, no, we need to do this. Someone else going, no, we need to do that. And there's no sort of common ground. So that may be definitely be an obstacle this month, that there's kind of this confusion, conflict, tension, disagreements, too many choices, too much diversity. The Queen of Swords, I think, is encouraging you to cut through that and to just nail down one idea, one concept, settle on something, fight your way through, or come to some sort of agreement, or agree to disagree on something, and then move forward. Otherwise, there's going to be, I think, this tendency towards ongoing disharmony in some area of your life, where there's too many competing forces and competing voices. So watch out for that. In the position of what may be useful this month, you have the Ten of Coins, otherwise known as the Ten of Pentacles. 10, the completion of a cycle. The 10 of Pentacles being about earthly practical matters, finances, career, money, grounded things, buildings, businesses, tangible objects. The 10 of Coins is about inheritance, you know, things gained over time, established families, established homes, passing on of wisdom and knowledge or money through the generations. It can be about retirement. So there's the culmination of happiness that has been a long time coming over a lifetime, or investment in things that have lasted the distance, that have gone the distance, kind of thing, and are coming that have given you a really good sense of sort of grounding and prosperity. It's a card of success. It is a card of sort of family matters, generations, the home, inheritances, savings, investments, and wealth, material satisfaction and success that has been grown over time. So maybe there is an inheritance coming in this month that could be very, very useful to sort through an issue, of course, or just to have. Maybe this card is saying to rely on, to help you sort of get through this month, rely on other generations, perhaps older generations that have a lot more wisdom and knowledge and a lot more grounding and security than you, or certainly than you feel right now, to move in circles that are very stable, very well established, that are successful, and that have proven their worth, and that are sort of prosperous in some way, and that have that, if this is your family, to consider someone in the family as a somebody of support, or a family system in some way, whether that's outside of you or inside of yourself. We all have our little internal family system that developed over time from our own families. What is that inner generation looking like within you? Is there someone or something there that you can turn to, that you can rely on? You know, is there a grandparent outside of you, obviously, that you can go to for support, for material support in some way, or for support that is very grounded and wealthy in some way, not even necessarily financially, but very rich and enriching for you, that can be very helpful this month. The outcome card for Aquarians for this month is the Three of Swords card. So another Swords card. The Three of Swords is quite a challenging card. It's a card of, typically a card of heartbreak, of grief, rejection, sorrow, a broken heart, a loss, an emotional release of some sort, working through disappointment. And we sort of see that some sort of disappointment has happened in the past with that Eight of Cups card. A separation has occurred, or something that you've had to let go of. A challenging card, but a card that is temporary. It's saying that while something might be difficult or painful or both, now is the time to focus on healing, on recovering, of working your way through that loss. Loss, of course, is part of life. Change is part of life, and it's temporary. Might be a temporary setback, might be feeling or getting ill in some way, but you will recover. Perhaps there is a process of needing to let go of something, to work through something, to learn a lesson about something that's no longer serving you. Perhaps you've been resisting some sort of change, or resisting the need to let go of something, or to grieve something that has gone or ended in your life. and you're going to need to process that and develop strength through that. You know, we develop scar tissue when we're hurt, and we need to then learn to live with our scars, whether they are internal or external scars, and we need to give ourselves time to do that, to grieve, to wallow a little bit but not too much, that we slide into some really dark places, but we must respect and honour grief, loss, change, disappointment, all those things in our life, and make space for them, and then integrate them somehow. So this is a reminder to be very gentle with yourself throughout that process. The Three of Swords card typically in other decks has 3 swords piercing a heart, and it's obviously very painful to walk around with your heart full of swords, and we may resist pulling out those swords, but that is exactly what we need to do to start healing the heart, to start healing ourselves, and stop that flow of blood which we think may well kill us. Hopefully it won't. You know, when we work through these things, we face our fears, we face our pain, we pop out the other side, maybe a different person, but having gone through a lot of stuff like this Queen of Swords. So, you know, like I said at the beginning, a bit of a tricky month, maybe a bit painful, a bit difficult, but we can see in that card there called Bushfire, which represents rebirth, that maybe this is all about a rebirth for you guys, having gone through a disappointment in some way. So I'm just going to read now from the book, from the Dreamtime Reading Cards. The Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian spiritual belief system. Beautiful cards, beautiful images and words. So I'm just going to read now about rebirth. Traditionally, Aboriginal Australians used fire as a tool for managing their country. They often travelled around their country based on where food was available during a season. When they were finished in an area, it was often set ablaze. This was for a number of reasons. First, a lot of native eucalyptus trees need fire to germinate their seeds. Second, the clearing of the undergrowth creates new growth and ensures fresh, clear grounds for wallabies and kangaroos to graze on. This is how Aboriginal Australians managed the land they lived on for thousands of years. When you draw the bushfire card, it is a time of powerful cleansing. The apparent devastation that occurs is also very much needed and is symbolic of your own cycles of life and death. There we go. Maybe something has been particularly devastating for you guys. So you are being given the chance to start your own cleansing fire and to send it in the direction it's most needed. That is that Three of Swords. You've got to pull those swords out. You've got to use, something like, not actually, fire to cleanse out something and to encourage new growth. Allow it to burn the areas of your life you need to let go of, those which have become unmanageable and no longer offer you inspiration and growth. This card symbolises life cycles, new birth and rejuvenation. The eucalyptus or gum trees are like the phoenix. They rise from the ashes with spectacular colour and grace, as will you. Allow that which is no longer needed to be cleansed away so you can fill your world with what is fresh and green and fertile. Whoa, powerful stuff, heavy stuff, intense stuff, doable stuff. You can absolutely do this this month. Rebirth, renewal, letting go of things, coming to terms with devastation, with loss, change, difficulty, but when we make our way through that, something new comes in. So on that note, Aquarius, I really wish you all the best for May. Take care of yourself through this month. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this reading. I'm very grateful you've given it your time and attention. All the best, and I hope to see you in June.